Hello, Froggy here, and today we'll be checking out the Aionian Campus Artifact, a strange thing we found under the map there. We'll be doing this using an IRB in the Gouge mission from the Edge of Fate campaign. Unfortunately, that means you have to have gotten there on the character you're planning to run it on. Ideally, you'll have 3 people with as many hunters as you can manage, but I have only just gotten there on my Titan, so we'll be doing it the hard way. You can get all 3 people there, but it might require some trickery, especially if you have non-hunters. We'll be doing a double IRB, so it'll be kind of important to keep things in the right order if you want the entire fire team to get out there. Of course, since there is no menu to launch the missions, you'll have to run to the flag. You seem to be getting a little spam message. But luckily, I'm not the one starting it. Thanks to ItAvvy, Cube17, and BurgundyPetal for helping out with this route. We'll be starting off with the route for the first IRB. BurgundyPetal will be playing the role of Hunter. We're going to need to do a mid-air death, and Hunters are just the best suited for that these days. I'm going to want to go over here first to set your IRB point. Unfortunately, we weren't able to find a direct lineup for this one, so the first IRB is just to break the box anywhere that we're able to get to where we need to be for Aionian Campus. Unfortunately, that spot is mid-air, and you will need someone to mark the location. But we'll get to that a bit later. In the meantime, we're using a different hole for this route. Very easy to get through with Matter Spark, although you can also just melee or kind of crouch through it. It's giving me a little bit more trouble than I normally have here, but let's see. There we go. So this IRB is very easy to retry, which is pretty convenient. And you don't really need sword to do it either. We've got a nice accessibility ramp here. And that'll cover the majority of the distance. So we are aiming for this platform on the side here. You need to jump a little bit to the right or you will immediately hit the load. And just kind of walk down along the edge. If you do not die to the load, you can just head this way to reset pretty quickly. Jump out onto this, and you should hit the load back to Caldera in mid-air. And then you can just go for another try. I'm going to go a little bit wide here, and walk down along the edge. And we've got it. BurgundyPetal made it with a previous Autorez, so just going to get the revive here, and we are out. So for the Autorez, just like in the last one, you'll continue Gouge until you kill the last little servitor, and the chest spawns. When you need to have another Autorez, all you need to do is leave the zone, go far enough to be outside of the hub, and then go back. Once you get back to here, the chest will respawn, and you've got another Autorez. Now, if you're trying to do this with 2 people, you might need to be a little tricksy here. So we're going to want to leave this area and come back, and while you could leave and rejoin to quickly get to Caldera, it's a little bit nicer to do the OOB route because you're going to have to do it backwards anyways, and you might as well learn the lay of the land. For instance, I was definitely supposed to take that last left. Whoops. Anyways, there is a handy OOB you can do in this room here that'll let us get to and from Caldera. You don't even need matter spark or anything like that. You can just jump up into this kind of mesh, and then there is a bit of intangible wall that you can simply pass through. Right about here, so that would take some time to make sure you know how to find this hole again. And take a look at the map. You can see we're a little bit to the right of the E in divide, and that'll help you get back to this location when you need to get back. Once again, you really only need to do this part if you have 2 players or you end up messing something up and having to go back. Nope. Speaking of messing up, let's just respawn here. This is a very useful landmark to remember. I'm going to be going around this wall here. See the weird lighting. Take notes of the little details. It will help you on the way back. For instance, there is this little cutout. There it is, right ahead on the right. It's all intangible stuff, but it is a very useful landmark. You have to be a little careful to go around the push barriers here. And at this point, we are making our way to the Caldera load. So if you die to the load, you can just use the same hole we showed before to get back out. Otherwise, you can actually just keep going. I wasn't exactly expecting to hit it there, but it'll work. We're going over to the Aionian Campus load, and you're going to want to have something with sticky nades. Ideally something like Mountaintop that shoots straight, because we need to put something there that other people can see. Luckily you can see things like sticky nade shots from across different zones, which is strange but very convenient. I'm gonna climb up over here. And we are pretty much where we need to be. Just need to hit the load out of map. Oh, there we go. We got it. And walk over to this ledge. And down there you can see very poorly the weird artifact. I've got my sticky nades on. And you want to aim for as central a location as you can on this, because the more central it is, the bigger margin of error you have for the mid-air death. Once that is done, or if you need to go get more ammo, you can hit the load back into Caldera. Well, seem to have died to it. Luckily, Caldera does not actually lock you out here, so it is pretty easy to get back in. Getting back into the mission area, however, is a little bit more tricky. You've activated various barriers as you progress, so we're going to have to take the same route back to avoid them. Once again, we'll be using this same hole. Very useful, very nearby where we need to go. And you'll need to hit the load zone. You do that in a similar way to how we died to the load, just instead of doing the specific thing we did, do basically anything else. very high chance that you won't die, especially if you're just jumping out this way. But if you do, you can retry pretty easily. When you want to keep going in the same direction, you'll need to duck to the side because of the map ceiling. And you should see that cutout from before after you round this corner. There we go. And once you do that, the wall to the right is the same wall that we ran around, so keep that to your right and you should be good. Go around the side of this. And if we go a little bit to the left, you can see that weird collection of whatever, and right here to the left is our way back inside. I always have a little bit of difficulty finding the exact spot, but I know it is very close to here. Probably just need to go through one of these very solid looking rocks that is in fact not solid. Oh, there we go. That looks right. And we're back inside. Just need to head back to where the chest spawns. It can be a little confusing, so here is a sped up clip of the way back. And once you've done that, you'll be ready for the second Autorez. But before we do that, a little aside on how to die in midair. Currently, Hunter is the way to go for that. You want a pair of navigators for navigator flying, as well as grapple. And I like to use high jump, although triple jump can also work for grapple flying. If you want that extra jump there, I just think that high jump gives you a lot more time. You'll need Threaded Specter and Ascension to make a clone so that you can die against it using a rocket launcher. I'd recommend practicing this technique before you need to pull it off. You'll want to line up, jump, hit your Threaded Specter, and then quickly shoot it with a rocket launcher. Due to the light level changes, you can't really do that well with a grenade launcher these days. Anyways, back to the route at hand. ItAvvy is in the spotter position, and now I need to make my way over there so that I can spot the sticky nade. Ammo is a bit more limited these days, since at least as of the moment we don't get pity ammo anymore, and generating special is a bit more pain than it's worth if you can make do with just a couple of shots. I'm going to want to drop down fairly low here, and then try to spot those sticky nades. Easiest if you are actively communicating, so you know when they're going to be coming, and when you catch sight of one, just drop and follow it down. Let's see if we've got another coming. Oh, there we go. And we're about level with it. You may have noticed that I am still on a Titan, so I'm going to be holding position here while BurgundyPetal comes over. Just trying to get grapple roughly in the right place to make this a bit easier. And there we go. I'm going to be taking advantage of this one here. And my second IRB point is now set. Now if you really want, you can gen back up to full ammo from here by using the true edge to die, since that doesn't interrupt your IRB point. Otherwise, you need to now safely re-enter the box. To do that, I'm going to want to fly up a little bit here. And then over to the Caldera spawn, which luckily you can actually see from here. And as long as you're careful, it shouldn't be too bad. I, however, was not careful enough. Don't do what I just did. Oh, little bit of setup later, and a little bit more height, and let's try that again. I'm falling down, failing to cancel fall damage, and just going back in the doorway here. Doesn't really matter if you die to the load, just respawn and you'll be fine. He's swapping back to a sword. Luckily you don't really need sword ammo at this point, so having a few is good, but if you don't have any, don't sweat it. We'll be once again using the very same hole. It is super convenient for this route. And we'll be making our way to the Aionian Campus load. Very carefully though, because if you die, you do have to do that first IRB again, then die in the right location, and that'll take a bit of time. If you're on Hunter, you might make some slight differences to the route, although with Navigator, pretty much do whatever. Just don't go too low or you might hit a death barrier and die. If you're trying to get all 3 people out, the last person will be doing this with no safety net. Although, technically speaking, you can always have someone go back into the mission to re-trigger the Autorez. But that would mean redoing a lot of work. I'm just climbing over the side here. And this time we need to die to the load. I like to do that by running against the wall here into the load zone, and most of the time that'll give you a death to load. You gotta go around this little thing first. But if it doesn't, you can safely go back up and try again. Though you'll probably want to use this little pipe here so you don't have to wait for a grapple every time. And you'll hit the load right about here. Let's go ahead and give that another go. And go around this little protrusion first. And there we go. And with one more auto, you've made it. But before we go take a closer look, let's see if we can get some more people out here. But before we go take a closer look, let's see if we can get some more people out here. Since you now have a Guardian down there, you no longer need the sticky nade to spot. That makes the lineup a whole lot easier. However, one thing you should note if you're trying to get the whole fire team out there is that you need to be outside of Curtilage Divide to reset the Autorez. That means if you have anyone waiting outside of the box, they'll have to either re-enter and leave the zone or leave and come back and do the first IRB over again. After, of course, the auto is re-primed. Well, now that we've got ItAvvy out here, sadly, Burgundy will not join because of a random death barrier related accident. Let's check this thing out. Seems we've got a whole lot of stuff layered on top of each other, and this spinny thing is surprisingly solid. I'm not sure what this does, although, well, I guess that side of the gate is instant death. Looks like one of those things you'd fire the, what's it, Mattermorph at? Although, if you manage to get down here with Mattermorph, let me know. I would be very curious what happens to that gate.
Guardian down.
Well, yeah, this is a very interesting thing. I'm very glad we were able to make it down here. Thanks a lot to Avi and Cube for the research they did into this area shortly after the expansion launched. But yeah, this very odd set of structures here. I don't know if there's like a spinning generator in this zone. I'm actually not really sure what this thing is. Even up close. So let me know in the comments if you know what this is used for. Anyways, let's move on to that chest. A little bit more of the green rocks. Looks like we can probably get pretty close to it here. Not sure if it's gonna be close enough. Yeah, I guess that's not gonna work. Let's maybe try below. So there's another one of those kind of meshes that you can stand on down below, although I can't really set spawns on it too consistently. And you can get somewhere that you can see the prompt, but it's a little difficult to stay there long enough to actually press it without adding your own supports. And looks like you get nothing. Not even the sound of a chest opening. For all I know, that E-prompt isn't even for the chest. But I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna call that mission accomplished. Anyways, while we're out of box here, we might as well go for the train cars. Because I wasn't able to get to them from under the map since they have their own box volumes. A little bit of grapple flying later, and we're about level with them, so let's see if we can make it in. Probably not enough there. Although it was close enough to get the music. And a little strange that we still have the music with our ghost down here. Guess that's one way to listen to it remotely. Kinda odd. Yeah, still going. Well, let's do that climb again. Wait, what? I guess I just have that now. Well, that's pretty neat. I don't know if like you can normally get the music to last forever by like dying and respawning, or if that was just some out of box weirdness that caused that to happen. But yeah, thought that was pretty neat. Anyways, after failing this for another couple times, I think I have gotten close enough to the train for my liking. Let me know if you do manage to enter that one successfully. I am pretty pleased to have gotten an up-close look at this weird artifact anyways. And hopefully you'll take the time to explore out this way yourself. And I'll catch you in Renegades.